Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Marvel's The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This is it. This is the season finale. This is the end of season one, and it feels like the longest short ride. It really does. I think, given how much they've given us in this show, like each episode has been as advertised. It's been 40 to like 50 minutes. Like some episodes have actually hit the hour mark. Others haven't so much, and it's definitely felt like it's actually fit. It's definitely felt like it's actually fit for what the story is supposed to be, and for the fact that it's not supposed to be like a super long season. It's meant to be a short, concise, straight to the point kind of story. And they said from the start only 6 episodes, whereas WandaVision had 9, so we knew to expect that going in. But I think it definitely it still feels like we actually got here quicker than I would have expected, and it just feels like the weeks themselves have flown past because we've been waiting after each episode. Like each episode has been so good, and it's ended on such good and high notes that you just can't wait to see what happens next, and you feel like you just can't wait until the next one comes, and then before you know it, it's here. So with this finale, it's definitely felt like that. It feels like for me, it almost feels like episode 5 was just 2 days ago, even though it was a full on week ago. So yeah, but anyway, the season finale. So I think WandaVision has actually been nominated and like actually put up by Marvel for like an Emmy as a limited series, but this one has been also nominated for an Emmy, but it hasn't actually been put up as a limited series. So I think that is actually like leading some people to think, with this one there's a whole lot more potential for a season 2 as in an actual Disney Plus series, whereas with WandaVision we know it leads directly into Doctor Strange 2, so a season 2 for that is less likely, although it might not be impossible. Like a continuation in a series format might be somewhere on the horizon. But we know that WandaVision is meant to go directly into the next movie. But with this one, there's no new Captain America movie confirmed or slated for Phase 4. And I think that could also be a sign that if this has been doing supremely well. It's been one of Disney Plus's most highest watched and highest rated kind of original series, so that should give Marvel enough kind of confidence to actually do a second season. And I think the story they're exploring with these two characters and with the backgrounds they come from, and the story they've set up here with John Walker and the Flag Smashers and everything else. I think for one thing, I really don't think that everything is going to be wrapped up in this one episode. I feel like like stuff will happen that will be left as a cliffhanger. Open ends will be left open, and it could definitely kind of help theorize what could happen for a second season. But whether or not we actually get one is another question. But I can definitely see one on the horizon. Like for this compared to WandaVision, I can definitely see a season 2 in the horizon. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I think for the finale, last time we had John being denounced as Cap. John was denounced as Cap by the government, and he was stripped of any and all military titles and benefits too. So he was just completely booted out from the army and stuff, and that sent him on his own kind of independent Cap path. Like we saw the post-credit scene where he was literally in his garage or somewhere, some kind of mechanical kind of place, just building his own shield. He was literally making his own shield, and that's where the memes that have come from that post-credit, people just posting links to various Captain America shield making tutorials from YouTube, being like, oh yeah, this is the video that John saw before he made his own. Like he's literally hammering and welding and putting together little bits and circular layers of metal to try and make a shield, and he's got his own style. He's actually using his medals of honor to weld those onto his shield and to do that. So yeah, I think honestly the way to go is either he's going to become US agent in this episode, or he's going to try being his own Cap, and it's not going to work out. And then and then this kind of episode will show that he's no longer Captain America, and he's accepted that, but he's now US agent. So he's his own version. He is his own version of Captain America, and I can in that way I can definitely see them setting him up as a continued antagonist for season 2. So he becomes US agent at the end of this, and then season 2 he's confirmed to be US agent and to be facing off against Sam and Bucky again in a second season. So yeah, but he also met Contessa Valentina Allegro de Fontaine, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. So yeah, she. I think people have been calling her Madame Hydra. I don't know if that's going to be the case with this. I think Madame Hydra. I think I think going from the comics, I think she's actually green. She had Contessa actually had like a purple streak in her hair. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that matters, if that's like kind of meant to be a comic accurate thing. But I think I mean, I felt like, I mean, watching the Marvel TV shows, I feel like we got close with Madame Hydra with Victoria Hand, like because they were initially setting that up as like a test, like when Winter Soldier happened and she was actually testing out the whole Hail Hydra thing on fellow Shield employees to see who she could trust. She actually passed herself off as a Hydra agent first, so I thought, oh, she's gonna become Madame Hydra, but no, they just killed her off and wasted her character. So yeah, I don't know if they're actually gonna go the Madame Hydra route with this one, with Allegra, with Contessa de Fontaine, or if they're gonna make. I mean, I feel like she could be the Power Broker. I feel like the Power Broker being as hyped up as they are in this series, I feel like she could either be connected to the Power Broker or be the Power Broker herself, and then she seems to know a lot. She knows that John took the serum and even declared that made him a very, very valuable asset to certain people. So I feel like that could mean that the Power Broker is after him now because he took the last serum. He took the last serum after Zemo smashed the others, so he's the only other super soldier left besides from the Flag Smashers. And she also said that to not to worry about the shield because for one thing she knows that he doesn't have it, and also pointed out that because the shield isn't technically the government, it's like a legal grey area, so returning it to the government at the end of the day isn't even like a mandatory thing. Anyway, so yeah, Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. So I don't know if we'll be seeing her again in this episode. I think again, like the fact that they reveal her so close to the end of the season is also like a sign that we could definitely either do with a second season or a movie that actually spawns from this. A movie would be good, but I think like Disney Plus has allowed. We've seen WandaVision, and now this, we've seen that Marvel definitely does better with certain characters when they allow them to develop throughout their own series instead of being compressed down into like a 2.5-hour movie. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what their plan is. But yeah, I think she's definitely gonna. I think if she doesn't make a comeback in this, then it's definitely gonna be a thing where okay, we either get a movie or a season 2, but her story still needs to be fleshed out. We need to find out who she really is and what she's doing here. So there was all that stuff. So John didn't have to scare, and he was making his own shield. So there was that, and then Bucky found Zemo. Zemo went to visit the Sokovian memorial, the memorial of the kind of Sokovian kind of family, like a member of like 4 families. So he found him there, and he handed him over to the Dora. He initially tricked him, thinking he was going to shoot him, but it was like, just without words, he was reciting his own kind of therapy speech of like, oh, I am no longer the Winter Soldier, I am James Bucky Barnes, and all that jazz. But instead, just really revealing to him that, he's not a killer anymore, he's not going to kill Zemo, no matter what he did or does. But instead, he does the right thing, and he hands him over to the Dora. And they took him to the raft. So he is gonna have a very tough time breaking out of there. So that's cool. And he also called in one last favor. He called in one last favor from the Wakandans, which I think we all know is a new Falcon suit because Sam and Bucky actually fought John, and John ripped off the wings with his super soldier strength. So the wings are broken. I think he handed the wings over to Torres. Sam actually passed the wings down to Torres. So chances are he might become the new Falcon. But Sam gets a new suit. So hopefully it's a Stars and Stripes thing. Hopefully he actually becomes Captain America in this finale. Hopefully he gets like a Stars and Stripes to go with the shield. But that is super duper cool. And we even saw him actually training with the shield and actually building his strength up and learning to throw it and catch it again and doing all sorts of cool stuff. So we got a lot of wholesome content too. We got a lot of wholesome content last episode with Sam, with Bucky actually delivering the case to Sam, but also actually hanging out with his family, actually helping him fix the boat and flirting with Sarah a little bit, and actually like saying good morning to the kids before they ran off all scared and everything. So he seems much happier actually hanging around actual humans as opposed to having to visit his therapist every once in a while and having to connect with her and everything. So this one with him knowing Sam, him being introduced to this town, to these people who Sam assures him will welcome him, definitely seems to be doing him some good, so that's a good sign. But yeah, then they parted ways towards the end, and he did assure him, if he had any leads, then to call him and stuff. So very good wholesome content, as well as some nice dramatic actiony content too. So we had that, and also some darker content too with Isaiah. Sam actually went back to visit Isaiah and found out the rest of his story, and his story was revealed, and it is brutal. His story was brutal and dark as anything the MCU has ever given us, and we found out the kind of parallels of his and Steve's story thanks to age-old racism in America. Steve busted some POWs out of a Nazi facility, and he got awarded for it, and he got given the title of Captain America, and he was allowed to go back into the heat of war with his war buddies and everything. Isaiah did the exact same thing, and he was locked up and experimented on for years, and he lost his wife too. They stopped any of her letters from getting to him, and even told her that he was dead, and then she died soon after that too. So he lost everything. He lost absolutely everything, thanks to all those bastards, and he it kind of led him to believe that his advice, his kind of words to Sam was that they would never let a black man be Captain America, because they don't want that kind of thing to happen. They would want someone that they approve of to have that kind of power and to be in a position of that kind of power instead of someone like Isaiah or Sam. So I think Sam, after hearing Isaiah's story, he kind of then realized that he needed to make Isaiah's years of pain and suffering worth it. He needed to actually show them, I'm a black man, I'm Captain America, I'm here, so deal with it. And he's gonna fight. He's gonna fight to save his country, fight to save the people, and show them that he is no less worthy of that mantle just because of who he is or what he is. So yeah, I think for that reason and many other reasons, I thoroughly look forward to seeing how this finale goes down and how he is introduced as Captain America, how he flies in, how he whoops ass, how he kicks ass, and how he tag teams alongside with Bucky and everything. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. So I can't wait to see how it goes down. And last but not least, we had Sharon, a revelation about Sharon. Sharon has been paying off Batroc. She paid off Batroc and actually helped him escape from an Algerian prison, which from there I believe is how he actually ran into Sam on his first mission in the first episode. And now she's paying him double again to deliver weapons and tech to the Flag Smashers. So yeah, he's made it clear he's not there to join their movement. He just wants to kill the Falcon. So he's now temporarily teamed up with the Flag Smashers. But yeah, Sharon has been doing villainous stuff. Sharon has been doing some shady stuff, so I can't wait. I mean, some people have been saying that either she is the power broker or she's connected to the power broker, or maybe she's a double agent. I feel like, the latter could definitely be possible. Like she could be a double agent because she's not exactly in the best of places in the world or in the best of situations. So I feel like, it's definitely understandable for her to double cross certain people to try and make ends meet, to try and survive and everything. So I think, she could just be leading Batroc to Bucky and Sam, only to team up with them to take him down altogether in the end too. So I don't know, I guess we'll have to wait and see, but either way, it's going to be a hell of a finale. So yeah, that is pretty much all I've got from the last one. So on to episode 6 of this marvelous show. This will be, in terms of reaction, this will also just be the highlights reel as part of the Fair Use stuff. So if you guys want to catch the full-length version, the full-length reaction, that one will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that one over there. But yeah, on to The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Season 1, Episode 6. Let's go. Oh yeah, the smashes. He's got the Stars and Stripes! Oh my god, that looks amazing! It's just like the comics!
I'm sorry, wait, who are you?
Captain America.
I thought Captain America was on the moon.
No one's moving toward the building.
Oh, yes. That's Captain America. That is our Captain America. There we go. Oh, there we go. There we go. I love the suit. I can't get over how good the new suit looks. Even at night. Especially at night. Yeah.
Red Wing. See if anyone in there has flight training.
He still has Red Wing. They still kept Red Wing. Okay.
Worst case scenario, we kill the hostages.
Kill the hostages?
We're supposed to use them to negotiate, to stop that vote. Either way, our message gets out to the world.
Okay, Carly, come on. You cannot go down this path.
It doesn't even matter if we die. The movement is strong enough to continue without us.
Oh, that was so good. Oh, that is so good. Yeah, just cocooning them with the wings and the shield. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Oh, it's actually welded together pretty strong. Oh, oh, it's already dented. It's already dented. Oh boy.
Thank you for saving us.
He's avenging. He's amending. He's amending. He's being of service. He's being of service. Yeah.
A little birdie told me you know how to fly a helicopter.
Yeah. Oh, Sam, you and your puns. You and your puns. Oh, damn. Oh, oh, oh no. Oh no. Oh, oh. Bird in the water. Bird in the water. Cap in the water. Don't be a capsicle again. Please do not turn into another capsicle. We already had one. We don't need another one. Oh, there we go. The ultimate shield throw. There we go. Grab the controls. Grab the controls. You got this. You got this. John. John. Save the people. Come on. Do the right thing for once. Do the actual right thing. Save the people. Oh, he did it. He threw the shield down. Yeah, that thing is dented to hell. Yeah, that thing is dented to hell. He saved the people. Okay, the one good thing he's done all season. Ah, yes, the real Cap. The real Cap came through, yeah? Ugh. Oh, come on, Sam. Come on. Oh, he's got 2 red wings. He's got 2 of them. Oh, he's so proud. Yeah.
That's the Black Falcon there. I tell you.
The Black Falcon.
That's Captain America.
That's Captain America. That's Captain freaking America. Oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Come back and work for me again. All of
Is
you
she the
can make
power
a
broker?
difference together.
Is Sharon the power
Because you
broker?
need your muscle back. Without our super soldiers, how much power does a power broker really have?
Sharon is the power broker.
More than you.
Oh, oh. Oh yeah, mounting the wings. Ugh.
Stay down!
No.
Oh, I really thought he was going to say I can do this all day. I really thought he was going to put on I can do this all day.
It's a great app.
Oh, handing them over to the authorities. Handing them over to the authorities, yeah. Good boys. Good boys. Good boys, yeah. Oh! Okay, Sharon came in clutch. Sharon came in clutch. Oh, Carly. Oh, okay. In the arms of the angels. Or in the arms of an angel.
We finally have a common struggle now.
Mm.
Think about that. For once, all the people who've been begging, and I mean literally begging for you, to feel how hard any given day is.
Mm.
Now you know.
Yeah, now you
How
actually
did
have
it
something to
feel
worry
be
about.
helpless? This isn't about easy decisions, Senator.
You just don't understand.
I'm a black man carrying the stars and stripes. What don't I understand? Every time I pick this thing up, I know there are millions of people out there who are going to hate me for it. Even now, here. No super serum, no blonde hair or blue eyes. The only power I have is that I believe we can do better. We can't demand that people step up and we don't meet them halfway. Who's in the room with you when you're making those decisions? Is it the people you're going to impact? Or is it just more people like you?
Oh, this is such a good scene. This is such a good speech. He is Captain America. He is Captain Mother-freaking America.
Nice job, Cap.
Oh.
For what it's worth. Suit looks good on you.
He does look damn good.
One world,
Oh, and he's a flag smasher. Yeah. Or maybe now. Maybe now he's decided to switch sides. They're dead? That dude just killed them? And yeah, Zima's a happy sleeper. You hearing that? He's a happy sleeper. Oh, he's
Now,
officially
this
US
is more
agent,
like-
isn't he? He's officially US agent. Yeah.
But black.
Yeah, black. That's the
Yeah,
US
well,
agent suit.
We're not gonna need a Captain America. We're gonna need a US agent.
He's US agent now. Oh god, John, what are you doing?
Copy. Thank you.
Oh, is he gonna go see Yuri?
Hey, what are you doing here?
He's gonna tell Yuri.
He was murdered. What? By the Winter Soldier. And that was me. Why? I didn't have a choice.
I finished the book. Thanks for your help, Doc. Okay. Okay, he seems okay. He seems okay. That's a good sign. Oh, the Smithsonian, the Cap exhibit. Yeah, the Steve exhibit. Yeah. Oh! Isaiah Bradley! You put in an Isaiah Bradley! He gave him his own He gave him his own exhibit.
Now they'll never forget what you did for this country.
Oh, okay, no, not the end. Oh, not the end, no. Oh. Oh, Wilson. The Wilson family food. Oh. Oh. This does not help the tears. This does not help the tears. Oh, he's holding all the kids. Oh. Oh, it's so good seeing Bucky with them. It's so good seeing Bucky with them. Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Thank you, Takari Skoglund. Thank you so much, Takari Skoglund. She is. Oh my god, this was incredible. This was incredible.
There may be an opening in your old division. Is that something you'd be interested in?
It would be my honor.
Welcome home, Agent Carter.
Oh, Agent Carter. Agent Carter. Like her aunt before her.
We're about to have full access to government secrets, prototype weapons, you name it.
Oh,
Should be something
damn.
for everyone.
Wow, Sharon's really going full on power broker mode. I can't lie, it's kinda hot. It's kinda hot. I can't lie, it's kinda hot. Ugh. God damn. Oh, and that's the end. That is the official end. No other post credits or anything. That is the official end. Okay. God, from start to finish, this show has been nothing short of dramatic and action-packed and hilarious and dark and gritty, and it's just been such a ride to enjoy and a ride to kind of really process and take in as to what it all means for audiences and for the story and for the characters and everything, and just to see how these stories are continued. It's just so great, and I think it's proof that Marvel knows what they're doing. That, you know, like, again, like, I think I think like one of the main thoughts I had going into WandaVision was the fact that, you know, like, Marvel have spent well over 10 years doing what they've done and doing it well and understanding their audiences and actually listening to their audiences and actually taking it in and actually creating stories that are well balanced and well written and well received. And it's like, you know, it's why Marvel as a studios can release something as wacky and as weird and as trippy as WandaVision before going into textbook comic book action and drama like Falcon and Winter Soldier, like the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, any other studio might have to actually kind of do something more general and more commonly known to get audiences in. But with Marvel, it's like, you know, people the fandom is like, I think, from my perspective at least, like the Falcon, the fandom is like a well balanced enough kind of, you know, kind of community of both comic readers and moviegoers, and they've all gotten to, like, they've all got managed to get familiarized with these characters through the movies, and because of that, like, they know that, you know, like, people who watch WandaVision will be people who actually know to expect this kind of stuff first before going into something like the Falcon and Winter Soldier first. I mean, you know, like any other studio would have to go for the more kind of textbook action drama type thing before going into something weird and wacky, because otherwise they might be deterred. But with Marvel, it's like they know what they're doing. They know how to draw you in regardless of what genre they tackle, and going forward they're going to be tackling all of the genres, and it's what makes them so good. So, you know, watching WandaVision, again, it's like not to compare, but it's like it definitely had its own share of darkness and comedy and drama, and its own kind of well-balanced thing, but tonally and story-wise and character-wise, it was its own thing, and you're able to appreciate it for what it was. And the same thing can be said easily for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, you know, when this was announced, like, seeing the continuation of these two characters, especially after the blip, it's just like, you know, it's a story that needs to be told. It's a story that you really want to see. But also, just like, given how Endgame ended, it's like, you know, like, a lot of this stuff is like, you know, like, obviously meant to be set after Endgame, so you're really wondering, like, you know, how are these characters going to move forward? How are they going to fit into this new world? And how are they going to move forward with the new people around them and these new ideas and these new kind of conflicts kind of, you know, being ignited and everything? So, you know, and I think that's why, like, when this season first started, seeing Bucky and Sam being so separate felt kind of weird, but then but then once you actually get into it, it's like, you know, oh, it feels weird in a way that kind of makes sense, because it's like, you know, it grounds them so much more. Like, they are two individual people, and the best way to bring them together is to make them start off being separate. Like Bucky going through his own traumas and his own nightmares and getting his therapy and doing his own thing, and then Sam, he has a family. Like the way they've explored Sam's family and his kind of more civilian background in this is so wholesome and so sweet and just so sad sometimes too. Like him having a family and him wanting to be there for his family after everything that's happened, and him just wanting to support them and everything. That was really cool. Like seeing them actually humanizing Sam beyond just having him be the Falcon. Like giving us Sam Wilson, especially like this show has given us James Bucky Barnes, and it's given us Sam Wilson too. So, you know, like it being the Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's them actually teaming up as their kind of superhero counterparts, but them being regularly, like, I mean, part human, part superhuman, like them being actual human people. At the end of the day, it's kind of what helps ground the series and what kind of gives them their characters meaning and gives them a bit more depth, and they've explored that super duper well in this show. So I'm really glad to see that happening. But yeah, this finale was beyond incredible. The new suit. It looks so comic accurate. That was immediately, like, I mean, when I first saw it, there were so many, like a dozen different thoughts just firing off in my head. But I think one of the things I definitely noticed was, oh, it looks comic accurate. And I think it's because, like, over the past week, I've seen people posting pictures of the actual comic kind of Sam Wilson Captain America suit. So I was like, I've had that image kind of ingrained into my head over the week. But then it shows how much Marvel actually cares about the comic suit. That like they're not going to change up the suit unless they absolutely need to. But then most of the time, for kind of authenticity's sake, they will go as close to the original source material and source visuals as they can. And with this one, they did. Like, it actually looks like his actual comic Captain America suit too, and he's got the wings too. So that was cool. So he has the star in the center, the stripes going across. I think I will admit I actually prefer the winter like the stripes that go off from like the side over the shoulders, like in the Winter Soldier stealth suit, like the star in the center and then the white stripes that actually stretch out. Was like they actually kept that for his one, and he got shoulder pads and he got like a mask that actually, like, so instead of just goggles on his head, he actually has a mask that goes around and covers the back of his head, and he actually fits around there. And he's got like a magnetic harness on the back too, so he can actually just swing the shield back on Cap. Like Sam Wilson became Captain America in this one episode. He became Cap. He became the new Cap, and he embraced it. And just props to Anthony Mackie. Anthony Mackie is such a phenomenal actor. He's such a phenomenal actor, and like you can tell that, you know, especially if you watch the interview, you can tell this role and this show means so much to him, like him being the first black Captain America, like bringing Sam Wilson as Captain America to the screen, and actually bringing that to life for audiences everywhere to see, especially to those who haven't really read the comics and might not be as familiar with that incarnation of the character. Like him bringing that to life, you can tell it means so much to him, and to see it being brought to life in this as well, it's just so something really, really special. And yeah, I think it works for a finale because then it definitely makes audiences go, I need to see more of this. I really want to see more of Sam Wilson as Captain America. I need to see more of it. So, it just works so well. And I think he has like 2 Red Wings too. I think when he was catching the truck full of hostages, like 2 Red Wings came out and actually latched onto the truck too. So I don't know if he. I mean, they kept Red Wing. That alone surprised me. I didn't think he'd actually keep Red Wing. I thought Red Wing would be exclusive to Torres. Torres, we didn't really see him until the very end. He was actually one of the people watching Sam's speech on the news, but he didn't really come in as the Falcon. Maybe that might happen in the next installment in season 2 or in the movie, so that would be fun. But he kept Red Wing. He like the Wakandans did still kind of keep Red Wing for him. He still gets Red Wing. So I think I don't know if he actually if he keeps Red Wing as Cap in the comics or if that, because like I think to my knowledge it is something more prominent to the actual Falcon character, but with this one he still manages to keep Red Wing. I mean, Red Wing's cool nonetheless. He's cool nonetheless. So that's really cool. But yeah, no, his suit, like the shield, it works. It like he can catch and like seeing him in combat, seeing him in active flight, seeing Captain America flying was just something I didn't really expect to enjoy so much. Seeing Sam Wilson flying as Captain America, it's like it's like for me like. It kind of like helps to see it as like the metaphor of the American flag being waved, like it's actually flying through the air, and he's wearing the stars and stripes, and he believes he's still like even if the history behind that symbol is complicated and it's been tainted with some darkness, he still believes in the message that it should send, and he's gonna try his damn hardest to actually enforce that message of peace and unity, and equality and everything. So. Sam Wilson is Captain America. Sam Wilson is Captain America. And I love that he used those words too. Like, even in the comics, he does say, I am Captain America. And even in this, he actually walked past the guard saying, the guard saying, like, who are you? Are you Black Falcon? He's like, no, I'm Captain America. So seeing that, like, hearing him actually confirm that I am Captain America was cool. And then they did sneak in a bit of a Moon Man reference, being like, I thought he was on the moon. Like Torres's reference from the beginning being like the most common conspiracy theory being that Steve Rogers is living out his days as the man on the moon and stuff. So yeah, I think a cool twist would have been because I think people have been debating if Steve Rogers is actually dead. If he's actually dead, he's gone. But I mean, people have been kind of theorizing / debating as to whether he's actually dead, gone, or if he's just like, again, he's retired the mantle. He's retired as Captain America. So then. Like, the last we saw of him was him being Steve Rogers and handing the shield over to Sam. But, his death, like, however it happened, whenever it happened, it was an off-screen thing. And also the fact that they've never actually used the word dead. They've never confirmed verbally that Steve Rogers is dead or that Steve has died. He just said, like, Steve is gone. That's it. So, I mean, again, like, I think for one thing, it's a way of kind of softening the blow, but also a way of actually being kind of passive about it. But I feel like Steve maybe he's like Bruce at the end of the Dark Knight trilogy. Maybe he's actually just left the country and he's just off vacationing somewhere, enjoying the sun or something. But I mean, I feel like a cool twist would have been, oh yeah, Captain America, like the original Captain America is gone, but Steve is still alive, and it would have been a cool twist if we actually saw them zooming out of like a TV and it showed Steve sitting in like a room or something, like actually watching the news and actually watching Sam embracing the shield and actually being Captain America and giving that speech. Like, that would have been a cool kind of twist to see, like, Steve is still around, he's just kind of out of the picture now, he's enjoying his own life, even without Peggy, he's kind of enjoying his old his accurate senior citizen life, and he's just kind of vacationing somewhere and just enjoying life and everything. So it would have been a cool twist. But I mean, I think because, like, again, like, if he was dead, I don't feel like they would need to skirt around that kind of phrasing or like beat around the bush with that. I feel like they could just kind of confirm he's dead, and obviously it would hit the fandom hard, but it would be like, okay, Steve is dead now, so we can actually like accept that and move on and accept our new Cap nonetheless. But I don't know, but the common theory was that, even in the show, the common theory was that people thought he was actually the man on the moon, and I think he was like on a moon base, so that reference was snuck in. But hearing Sam say, I am Captain America, that was serotonin. That was just a swift injection of serotonin instead of super soldier serum, so that was very cool. That was super duper cool. And yeah, I mean, Sam had his defining moment as Captain America. He is like, that speech he gave on live TV Good Christ. I'm definitely gonna have to watch that a couple dozen more times. Or at least a second time, definitely after this, because it was just so good, but part of it is just like, it was so overwhelming, just like, some of it just didn't really stick in my head, but his speech as Cap, just damn, like, he really spoke from the heart, and he was like, damn the cameras, damn the people, I'm gonna, the cameras are here, the cameras are rolling, that's good, because I'm about to drop a monologue right here, right now. And yeah, the words he spoke, and just him, and like, even like, even him throwing the senator's words right back at him, like the senator being like, oh, the world is in tatters, the world is struggling and in pain, you don't understand that. And he's like, dude, I'm a black man wearing the stars and stripes right now, what do you think? Like, what about the situation do you think? I don't understand. Like, he is just, again, he's actually, I think his entire speech encompasses like the kind of the idea, like his kind of belief that he can and will and does intend on fighting for the people. And it's just like, he just, God, I'm gonna have to listen to it again. I'm gonna have to go back and boot up the episode and listen to it again. Definitely. Falcon and the Soldier. Go back to episode 6. I'm gonna have to listen to it again. I'm gonna listen to that again. God damn. Yeah, okay, so just watch that speech again, and yeah, oh god, like him, like his words are just so, like, relative and important to hear, and especially like in this modern day and age too, like about how exactly the world go, like the world and the governments of the world go about with their decision making, and even talking about how, like, Carly and the Flag Smashers are labeled so easily as terrorists. And like, sure, like, they've done violent things, like Carly especially has made some very, very kind of non-supportable decisions, like, burning down that GRC, like blowing up the GRC, that kind of supply center place in a few episodes ago, and she kind of killed him. I think her killing Lamar, right, I feel like that was definitely like not her intention. I feel like she definitely kind of threw a punch that she didn't know how to control. And I think in terms of them becoming super soldiers too, I feel like that's also another thing. Like they're not trained soldiers. They are not trained fighters or soldiers. They just have a super soldier serum and they can throw kicks and punches. They're not trained fighters anyway. Like, half the time they literally don't know their own strength, so they just kind of throw a punch and hope that it doesn't really kill, but just kind of gets people out of their way. So like her killing Lamar, I feel like that was genuinely an accident on her end, because even then, even when she took off her mask, like, she looked shocked, like, oh crap, I really didn't mean to do that. So again, not supporting like the violent stuff that they've done, but again, like I think like Sam makes a good point there with labeling them, and especially like how the government and the media actually treats those kinds of people too, like labeling them as terrorists and rebels and thugs, like, and especially like rebels who, like, oh, they're rebelling against our kind of treatment of them because it doesn't really benefit them. But it's like, like, realistically, it's like you mean to say that like they don't agree with the way you're treating them because they're not being treated as they should be treated, and then the government is actually using their own power to benefit them. And even his line, even that one line at the end being like, like him describing the ways that the senator and the other people with him can actually do various different things, like, oh, you can take down a forest with an email, you can feed 1 million people with a phone call, you can do this, that, and the other. But then the important thing to also consider is who's in the room with you when you do it, when you actually make those decisions, and when you make those decisions. And it's like, it's like that comparison, like, is it just you and people who look like you and people who have like a similar kind of life experiences to you, or is it actually people who will be impacted by all these different things, and is it actually like a room of diversity? And it's like, to this day, like, diversity is still something people very, very passive aggressively oppose, being like, oh, as long as someone has the right ideas and it doesn't matter who they are or what they look like or who's in the room. But it's like, that does matter, because like, people like with those kind of lived experiences, people with those common struggles, people who have actually been impacted by those enough to know what's needed, they need to be in that room too. It's not just about actually believing in equality, it's about actually experiencing enough to actually want and believe, and like actually kind of like knowing the impact of equality, and actually knowing what people need, and actually having people from around the world in one room actually deciding on what's like good for everyone too. So like Sam's speech as well, it just highlights all those things. It just highlights all those important things, and also fits in with what's actually suitable for modern times and for the modern world too. I feel like it's somewhat kind of, again, like Captain America, that character is known for giving motivational speeches and for giving speeches that actually inspire people and actually tell people what's necessary. And I think it definitely reminds me. I think it's also even better. It's also even better, right? Because it makes me think back to Steve's speech about Hydra and Shield in the Winter Soldier when he actually unveils to all of Shield that Shield has secretly been Hydra all along, and he gives like a really inspirational speech, and he's like, the price of freedom is high and all that kind of stuff. And then Sam's response straight afterwards is like, oh, did you write that down first, or was it off the top of your head? And now with Sam Wilson, he's come a long way. Sam Wilson has come the longest of fucking ways, and he's giving off speeches off the top of his head too. He's giving off speeches from the top of his head and from the bottom of his heart. That is how far Sam Wilson has actually come. He's actually doing that same thing, and he understands that is a part of what being Captain America is actually giving speech, like not just giving speeches, but actually saying words that mean something and actually result in some kind of positive change. So he's come a long way since then. He's come a long way. So now he knows what it's like to come up with heartfelt speeches from the top of your head. So yeah, but that speech, and also just seeing the kind of and also like him being like like every time, like him admitting that he knows that being Captain America will not be easy, because every time he picks up the shield, he knows that there's going to be a person or even people out in the world who see him carrying the shield and see him carrying the stars and stripes, and people who disagree and hate him for it. And he's like, I can already see this. I can already see the stares and the judgment and the kind of vitriol headed my way and everything. And then it actually cuts to all the other people. It cuts to like John listening to him giving the speech. Bucky looked so proud. Bucky, just over time they kept on cutting back and forth to him, and he just looked so proud watching Sam give that speech. Like there were so many moments in it, like of Bucky watching Sam saving people and doing stuff as Cap, that he just couldn't help but smile. And it's just him being proud of his new Captain America, him being proud of his buddy Cap. Which is really cool to see. And then they showed Isaiah. Well, when they cut to Isaiah watching the news, that just broke me down. Like Isaiah after what he told Sam and stuff about like them never letting a black man be Captain America. And now he's watching the news and hearing Sam say he will be damned if he's not allowed to actually defend the country that he bled for, that he fought for, and that he believes in so much. So him actually like watching Sam embracing that role as Captain America and swearing to be a Captain America that does good by all of the people in it was just so inspirational. And Torres watching too. Torres was watching his buddy do it, and then Sarah watching her brother soar higher and just being Cap and giving that speech too. And like them, especially after the troubles that they've had, watching him do something inspirational was really good. So just Sam making all of the people that know him be so proud of who he is and how far he's come and where he is now. It's just something so special to see and so heartwarming to see. So it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And yeah, and I think a part of his speech also helped solidify what this season, what this story has really been about. And it's the fact that he even highlighted the fact that he's not white. He's definitely not white. No blonde hair, no blue eyes. Not the classic American dreamboat that people imagined Captain America would always be after Steve after Steve became Captain America. And definitely no serum either. But he is a good man. He is the goodest of men. He's the goodest of men out there, and that is what matters most. And it's like and to amplify and emphasize that fact, he's not taken the serum. There's not one drop of super soldier serum in his veins, and he's still capable of doing all that he can, because for one thing he's trained himself, but also because he believes for him the shield is his serum. The shield allows him to do better than what he can already do as Sam Wilson, to actually go out there and save people and to fight for the right things and everything. So him mentioning that too, like the new Captain America doesn't have a serum, but he's still Captain America. He definitely is. And I think this series has definitely explored the serum in such like a gray area kind of way, where like they've definitely worked to amplify that whole kind of like that, like Erskine's kind of explanation and his kind of concept of how the serum works, of like it amplifies what's already there. So then if you don't take it, then Sam being the kind of person to say that he wouldn't take the serum, then it makes you wonder, how is he going to fight to become a Captain America that the world recognizes? But then it's like it's not about the serum, it's about the person behind the shield. And it's like if they don't believe in the right things, if they don't fight for the right things, then how can they be Captain America? So it really amplifies Sam as Cap in that aspect too. So that much I loved. That much I really loved. I think one of the things one of the things that I liked he pointed out was that finally the world has a common struggle. Like for so long there's been like racism, classism, all these different kinds of different dividing factors that people in power inflict upon the world. But now, because half the world disappeared, and then for 5 years the world had to unite to actually come together again in the wake of all that loss, and then 5 years later everyone came back and then the world was in shambles again. And he's like, finally now, now for once, like the senator himself being like an old white dude, now he even understands what struggle is and how people feel when they lose things, and even him pointing out that like the people who came back lost everything because their family homes were moved into, they lost their homes and their people, and different things happened. Like even with them with Monica, she comes back only to find that her mother's dead, so now she's lost her, and now she has to go back into the organization that she has to go into the organization that her mother founded in the wake of Monica's disappearance, and has to do her own thing, and like her character was explored so well in that. But with this one, it's like like him pointing out all that makes Sam go like, good, now you know what it's like to lose things, and also what it's like to actually have like a common day-to-day struggle that no one else seems to understand, but also one that no one else really seems to care about because of the fact that it's not happening to them, and it's like a common issue. Like so many people like refuse to acknowledge or address subjects, or they just kind of skirt around the question with different labels or different kind of passive-aggressive statements. And it's like like the common thing is that they refuse to talk about or acknowledge struggles or problems that don't affect them because it doesn't affect them, so they just think it doesn't, like, it's not something they should care about. But now with the world being back in shambles, with all the kind of the population being here and there and everywhere, and everyone coming back and it kind of re-screwing the whole system, now he's like, now finally everyone has a common struggle, everyone needs to find their place in the world again, and everyone needs to actually be able to find their homes and find their jobs and their families and everyone again. So now there is a common struggle. And he and him pointing out that now you know what it feels like to be helpless, to be powerless, and to not know what to do, and to not really feel like you have enough power to stop it. But they do, and then he even pointed that out too. Like, you feel helpless, but you do have power. You have the power to do this. You have to make a phone call and do this, and send an email and do that, and then stuff like that. But then what you need to do now is to make sure that the people who are actually going to be affected by those phone calls and by those emails and by all these different decisions are actually in the room with you when you do it, so you know why you're doing it and you know how to do it best in a way that actually helps the people you're trying to help, and to make sure that you help everyone too, not just the people that you deem as worthy or unworthy for whatever reasons, because not that anyone should be unworthy, but then you actually know, who you're helping, why you're helping them, how you're helping them, and you make sure that that the people suffering from the common struggle now have a common hand to help them, and a common ground to actually stand on. So him delivering that speech just matters so much, and it works so well, and it actually fits in so well, and actually just it really solidifies him as a man of the people, of all people, and stuff, and like a man who has faced endless struggle in his own life and knows that, and even him emphasizing that the people before him struggled endlessly too. So now he's picking up that shield to make sure that their sacrifice and their blood, sweat, and tears actually counts for something and actually matters and means something. So he is wholeheartedly embracing the Captain America mantle and the shield, and people are going to say stuff, but I think part of that speech also points out that he knows, like, he is picking up that shield, knowing that people out there are going to oppose him for it for whatever reason, and he's already dealing with that because he knows that he's doing it for the right reasons, and he's not doing it without the anticipation of any kind of hate or vitriol that might come his way, but he's doing it because he knows that he's been chosen for this and he's the right man for the job, and he wants to help people in this way, and he wants the symbol to mean like what it used to mean, and to mean like to stand for the right things too. So just amazing stuff, just really amazing stuff. And I love how Bucky was actually done in this episode too. Bucky, he saved people, like him saving people from that van, like him, even them, like Carly, even like actually, like Carly seeing him as like an actual superhero before even seeing him as a Winter Soldier, only to actually end up being like, cause a distraction, make him choose between chasing after us or actually saving the people in the burning van, and then him being the hero, him wanted, like Bucky actively wanting to be the hero, wanting to do good and to be good, and then to actually start making amends and to be of service too, and to be of service. He then immediately lets go of the Flag Smashers, and then he runs after the van and breaks the van apart and actually saves them. And even the people acknowledge him. Being like, thank you so much for saving us. You're a hero. You're a lifesaver. And then for the first time, Bucky actually feels like he's actually managed to explicitly and sincerely save a life and save multiple lives you know, in amends and in amendment of all the ones that he's taken. So he finally actually for once feels like a hero and everything. So yeah, and also seeing him stand his ground too, because I think too many of the fights in this have actually nerfed Bucky, and they've actually shown him kind of holding back or like not really standing as strongly as he should. So him standing up against that one flag smasher after he fell to the ground, and even before then, him actually standing his ground was him actually standing his ground, using his strength, actually fighting and actually doing good. It was good to see. So that was very cool, and even his advice to Carly too. Like this entire season, he's been kind of like, especially like Carly and John being the ones who are most brash and more outgoing with their abilities and with their powers, and more outgoing with their kind of mentalities. He's been kind of advising them, you know, don't go down that path, don't kill, don't spill blood, don't spill innocent blood, just don't do this. It's not going to end well. Like him, especially knowing what it's like to actually have to face the repercussions of his action. And even for him, he's not a killer. He was made into a killer completely out of his own choice, out of his own willpower. He was turned into something that he never wanted to be, and now he's actually paying the kind of like the mental consequences for it. And even then, even without actually being like an actual kind of definitive killer himself, he's, you know, advising people, don't go down this road. It doesn't feel well. Like, you know, I'm facing the consequences for it, even though I had no choice. But now, you know, you have the choice to actually do good and to stray away from the path you're going down, and to do that. So Bucky being portrayed in that sense feels very, very good and feels very, very right. And it just feels kind of good to it feels good for them to actually give him the treatment of actually trying to be the hero he wants to be, and actually trying to make amends in the way that he wants to do it. So it feels right. And speaking of Bucky, we had him actually doing what Sam told him to do, to be being of service and actually giving other people closure to. And what surprised me about that scene was that it was so quick. It happened so quickly. It didn't seem to have much of like a climax to it. It didn't really show properly how, like, besides from him being devastated to hear the news, it didn't really feel like there was much of like a reaction from Yuri. It didn't really feel like it was that much of a satisfying ending. Like it actually should, like as soon as it shows him actually knocking on the door, you then realize, oh, that must be then Bucky actually going and telling Yuri what happened, and he does it. He's straightforward. He doesn't really beat around the bush. He stutters and his voice breaks and he's breaking down, and he really doesn't want to, you know, cause any more pain. But he's then like, you know, like, this needs to happen. Yuri needs closure. He needs to know for the truth about what happened to his son. So he then tells him, like, you know, he was murdered by the Winter Soldier, and that's who he used to be. And everything, and he even kind of does specify that it wasn't his choice. He didn't have a choice. He was brainwashed. He was mind controlled, and Yuri was really just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and all that stuff. And then his son, even Yuri's son, was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So yeah, but then Yuri, besides from like him looking obviously devastated and upset, he doesn't really seem to have much of a reaction. Even that later scene of Bucky being outside the restaurant and watching Yuri with the other woman, like the girl that he was actually the girl that he was on a date with in the first episode, like her seeing Bucky in the window and smiling and stuff, and it's like, you know, Bucky seeing Yuri smiling, like, again, it doesn't really seem like much of like a climax or a conclusion. It doesn't really kind of I think the scene ran really short, but I think the point of the scene is also to show that, you know, again, it doesn't matter how Bucky feels. It doesn't matter if Bucky is forgiven or if he's still condemned by Yuri. What matters is that Yuri himself now knows the truth. That was the point of maybe that scene, and I think that's why maybe the weirdness might feel weird, like the shortness might feel weird initially, but then that's the whole point. Like, you know, like for so long we've been seeing Bucky's reaction to doing all these things and his reaction to making amends, but that's only ever been how he feels. Like right now, we need to know how one of his victims feels, and we need to see his victim being told the truth, and like his and Yuri actually understanding the truth about what happened. So whether or not Bucky is forgiven is completely up to Yuri, but what matters is that Yuri knows the truth and that he actually understands now what happened and stuff. So I think season 2, if we see Yuri again, it might be maybe like maybe Bucky running into him on the street again, and Yuri maybe inviting him in for a drink or something. But either way, Yuri knows now. Yuri knows that is, you know, like since the last episode, that was like the biggest kind of name in his book, the one with the circle around it, because it wasn't one that he killed or one that he wronged in any intentional way, but it was someone who actually had lost their son because of the Winter Soldier's actions. It was the biggest one, like the biggest amendment that he needed to make. So, you know, he followed Sam's advice, and then he actually went in and actually opened up and told him the truth. So Yuri knows now. Yuri knows, and I think that is unarguably out of all the names in his list. That is unarguably besides from Zemo, that is unarguably the biggest kind of name in his list, the biggest amendment he needed to make and stuff. So now with that one, and now he even gifted the book. He even sent the book back to his therapist, and even bought her a card that said, "Thanks for all the help. I've crossed all the names out. I've made amends. I am literally now no longer the Winter Soldier. I am James Bucky Barnes again." So he actually made amends. He even sent his therapist to the therapist a thank you thing, and I think his therapist has I think the problem before him being with Sam again was the fact that his therapist was the only human connection, and that's really not really healthy. Like, he needed Sam and his family in his life. He needed more grounded human beings and more relatable human beings in his life. So because of that, he then managed to actually get like a healthy balance of the two, and even Sam giving him his own human advice, and him and like Sam being his own form of like some kind of a trauma kind of therapist, and him giving soldiers that kind of treatment too. He was able to give him his own advice that really helped. So he needed someone who actually knew what it was like to actually deal with that kind of past and deal with that kind of PTSD. So but then he still acknowledged and appreciated the help that his therapist gave him, Dr. Rayner gave him, and he still wanted her to know that her work was appreciated and it was well done, and it actually did help. So he was still kind enough to actually send her a thank you card and to actually send the book back to show that all the names are crossed off and everything. So that was really cool. That was a really super sweet touch. So yeah. And I also kind of want to talk about John. John, I feel like he took a step. He took a step in the right direction for once. And he actually managed to do some good. It does not completely redeem him. It doesn't completely change anything he's done in the past. He still has done some very, very, unforgivable and very, very, very kind of undeniably bad things. Him killing that flag smasher, that was straight up murder. That is inexcusable. That is straight up murder. And it doesn't help that Valentina was there actually indulging the whole thing. That does not help at all. But I think in this one, I think it was a step in the right direction. That much you can't deny. Him actively choosing to actually save people instead of chasing that path of vengeance he had against Carly. Him. Even that shot of that shot confirmation that he's actually changed his mind and he's actually doing the right thing for once. Like the truck stops falling and then it gets pulled back, and then as it gets pulled back, you see the shield, his new shield actually falling to the ground too. Like, that's like the sign that, okay, he's actually choosing a different partner. He's actually choosing to actively help people as John Walker. Then he is actually still chasing that path of vengeance. That again, it was a step in the right direction. It's definitely a step in the right direction. And to even see him kind of tagging along after that with Sam and Bucky, it was weird. I won't lie, it was weird. But again, it was like a sign that he's actively now he actively then chose to try and do the right thing and stuff. And even when he goes his own separate way, and then Bucky's like, "Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on him, make sure he doesn't pummel the brains out of anyone else." But I think it's a good enough sign that he's going in the right direction. And even him actually, and I think I'm hoping that even him standing with Bucky and actually listening to Sam's speech at the very end as Cap, like him listening to that speech, I'm hoping he still learned something from that too, and he actually learned what it really means to be Captain America. I'm hoping he picked something up from that. It definitely, I think this episode definitely it definitely works to put him in a new light. It definitely tries to put him in a new light, but I think unless he actually does change his ways going forward, I don't really think it's actually going to happen. But that final scene, so he is the US agent. He is officially the US agent. Valentina has actually made him the US agent. He gets the black suit. He gets the actual black, like the same-ish design, like the flag stripes going across, and the A, I think it's like an A or like a star in the corner, and like a new helmet, and I think like a new suit as a whole, but now it's actually black. So he's like, he even said like it's the same suit as before, but now it's black. So he is officially US agent. So again, this needs a season 2. This series needs a season 2. There needs to be a second season to this, actually showcasing some new stuff. And then I think that might mean that he makes an interesting antagonist, especially if he's connected to Valentina. Valentina herself is already being shown to be a shady and fairly untrustworthy kind of character. So if he's connected to her, and if he's actually working with / for her, then she obviously is not going to use him to do any good things, maybe to inflict her own form of actual kind of injustice. But and especially the fact that she indulges his treatment of the Flag Smashers and his actions before definitely show that, she's not really going to encourage him to do anything good, just actually do what needs to be done, or whatever it is that they define as what needs to be done. So yeah, I don't know, but he is officially the U.S. agent. John Walker is officially the U.S. agent, so it'll be I think it'll be fun to see how that character moves forward, going forward into the story, however they decide to continue it. But yeah, and I think again, his shield did not last long. His shield, I mean, honestly, right, it lasted longer than I thought it would have. It was like he actually tried to make he tried to make it durable. He actually welded it together. He actually made it look similar to what it was before with the stars and everything, and he actually you could see the welding lines between each layer of circular metal. You could actually see that it was a homemade thing. And honestly, when he threw it at Carly and she kicked in and bounced off the actual wall of the building, I thought it was going to shatter apart there and then. I thought as soon as she kicked in, it bounced off the wall. I thought it was just going to break apart there and then, but no, it took a few hits. Like after he dropped it from the van and it fell down to the actual construction pit where Bucky was, you can see that it was dented and the inner circle was completely broken in and it was caved and stuff. You could tell from there, okay, it's not really meant to last long, it's not really meant to be that durable, but he still tried. He tried his best with it, but it didn't really last long. So then afterwards he did opt to then fight more with his bare hands and everything, so he tried, but now he is the US agent. I think the US agent does still get a shield, so I think now he's probably going to get his own circular shield with the actual US letters on the inside instead of a star, so that'll be fun to see when that happens. But yeah, I think John, again, I think this series has explored John in a very kind of grey area kind of way, somewhat. I mean, I'd say kind of partially grey area, mostly it's kind of taken that whole kind of route where it's you're not meant to like John Walker, you're really not meant to like him. It's it's very understandable if you do hate him, but you're not meant to like him at all. So he's very much like a character you're not meant to get used to. You're not meant to really agree with the way he thinks or the way he does things. So that much is obvious. But I think what they've kind of focused on and what's been made more and more clear as the episodes have gone on is that, John Walker he's an antagonist for sure. He's an antagonist, but whether or not he's an evil villain is definitely up for the question. But he's undoubtedly unstable, and with the serum, and then when the serum starts pumping through his veins too, that just makes him even more unstable. Again, the serum amplifies what's already there. It doesn't just make it makes you superhuman, but it also makes you super you. It makes you super you. If you're an evil villain with the super soldier serum, you'll just become a super villain pretty much. So with him, he became more and more unstable. And especially you could see that when the Flag Smashers actually started kicking the crap out of him on the floor, you could see his eyes closing and then his eyes opening again with a bit more kind of rage in his eyes, and he saw the Medal of Honor on the inside of his shield too. So then he remembered what he fought for, what he did in the past, and what he's trying to fight for now. And then he becomes even more outraged. So again, he's unstable, and he's definitely kind of unfit to be Cap. So that's why he's actually becoming. That's why Valentine is actually helping him be another version of Cap. She's actually helping him become the U.S. agent. So I think I definitely need to I know very little about what that character actually is about, or who they are, or what they're meant to be, but so I think I actually need to go check out the comics to figure out more of that information. But either way, whenever it does happen, I'm hoping they do it right and it's actually a good watch. So yeah, I guess all in due time. But John Walker, I think, again, the hate the character gets is understandable. The hate the actor has gotten over the character is completely non-understandable. That's unjustified and non-understandable. I think I'm hoping what Wyatt Russell actually feels kind of proud of what he was able to do, actually bringing this character to life and actually making him accurate to who he is and what he's meant to be. So I'm hoping Wyatt actually feels comfortable and happy returning to the character in season 2, and he's actually able to do that in a way that feels okay again. So yeah, I look forward to seeing how Captain America and the Winter Soldier face off against the US agent in season 2. So all in good time. And yeah, in other breaking news, Sharon Carter is the power broker. She was the power broker all along. It was Sharon Carter all along. And yeah, I want to say I'm surprised, but I'm kind of not, because I think I personally expected at least a connection to the power broker. I expected that much, like given how much time Sharon has spent setting herself up in Madripoor with the most desperate of conditions. I kind of expected that to happen. So when it was revealed that she actually herself was the power broker, it's like, okay, that seems cool. It's less surprising than it should be. It's less. I mean, it's less surprising than you think it might be because they've been setting up and hinting at it for so long. If it feels less surprising in that sense, but Sharon, I think it definitely fits in with how it fits in with what she's had to do all this time to get by, and all the things she's had, all the things she's done, and like all the things she's felt about her situation and how the world is, and how she's been kind of still been on the run for all these years and everything. So there's definitely that. Honestly, I think she has just done what she needed to do to survive, and she also just like seeing some kind of a power vacuum in Madripoor, like Madripoor being like, I think, because I don't know if they actually mentioned whether or not Madripoor was even like a black market kind of hotspot even before the blip, or if it actually turned into one because of the blip. But then whatever happened, she survived. She saw a power vacuum there maybe, and actually decided to take it up very discreetly and very, very sneakily. I mean, she is a spy. She's a spy, so she knows how to stay hidden, how to stay undercover, and how to stay on the run and to stay on the move and discreet and everything. So she knows that. But then, also the power broker is known for the power broker's connections. She's known for her connections. So I feel like maybe the power broker herself, like she's not the one sole power broker. Maybe there's multiple connections that help keep it intact, keep it running. Maybe Valentina could be one of them. Valentina could be one of them. I think it could be either just the two of them, or it could be other people working in tandem too. Maybe maybe people similar to Nagel who are like experts in their field, and people whose research is actually revered and admired by both Valentina and Sharon. So they all work in tandem with the power broker too, without knowing who the power broker actually is. They just get money. They get wired monies and monies. Yeah, they just get wired money transfers, and then they do their work. They show up. They give it to the power broker or representatives or something, and then they actually do the work and they get paid for it. So I think that's definitely I think, and again, also because in that post credit scene she was actually on the phone at the end too, actually talking to someone. So it could be Valentina, could be another one of her fellow power brokers or something. So it's kind of like a whole group working as one kind of common person. So it can't be traced back to one to one individual person, and it keeps everyone running, and it keeps everyone kind of relying on each other to actually keep the guys up and everything. So yeah. And yeah, the post-credit scene. So she got her pardon. Sharon got her pardon. She actually got her pardon. She was actually received, and they even called her Agent Carter. I don't know why hearing them call her Agent Carter again gave me so much serotonin. Just being like, it just made me so happy hearing them call her Agent Carter again. Like formerly her aunt Peggy was the only one who actually went by that name, who was actually known for that name. So them calling her Agent Carter again is like not even Agent 13. I think Agent 13 would have been more familiar to Sharon's character, but her being Sharon Carter, she is Agent Carter. She is literally Agent Carter. So them calling her that was cool, and seeing the pardons being happen, and even them offering her the same position she used to hold. So I think that, I mean, she used to be an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I think that makes me wonder, like they even said her old position is still available. So it's to what extent is it still available? Can she be is there a new S.H.I.E.L.D. up and running, or is it going to be transferred over to S.W.O.R.D. because S.W.O.R.D. is essentially the new S.H.I.E.L.D., or is it just another position within the government, or what is it? I know exactly what they meant by that, but I mean, them saying her old position is still available definitely kind of raises question marks and raises kind of flags and everything. So don't know what they meant by that. But then even after that, straight after that scene, she actually gets on the phone and says that now she has a place, now she has a position within the government. So now, as the power broker, now she can actually sell government hardware and technology and government secrets and all these different government resources. And now they're going to be rich from that alone. So I think, again, the power vacuum, the power broker's power, and the power broker's reputation is still fresh in her mind, and she knows that this is something she's good at too. So I feel like, again, I feel like she's also still holding that grudge too. She's been on the run for years. She has been on the run even in this series after long after Bucky and Sam were pardoned from their own crimes, and they were kind of redeemed in the eyes of the nation. Sharon was still on the run. It took even longer for the government to even try and pardon her. After they actually gave Sam and Bucky their kind of redemption. So for her, I think she's definitely holding that grudge too. She stole the shield and the wing pack for Steve and Bucky, and then she was branded a fugitive and an enemy of the state for it. So I think she is definitely holding a grudge against her own nation, against her own country, and she's more than willing to actually give away government secrets to those who might actually help take it down or do better than the US, or do something else. So I think that also means that maybe she might be an antagonist for season 2 as well. Like maybe like her being like a double government agent and her betraying her own government for the sake of more power and more kind of stability, and also for the sake of upholding that grudge, might make her an antagonist for season 2 as well. And it might make Sam and Bucky question their own kind of allegiance to her, and maybe actually question whether or not she's really a friend or foe. So it's all interesting stuff. It's all interesting stuff that will hopefully be explored well in season 2. And I won't lie, it was kind of cool seeing Sharon walk away with the power that she now has, walking away in her button-up blazer on the phone, telling someone that she now has government resources and secrets and hardware to sell. It was kind of cool seeing that. So regardless of what she is now, I am more than anything, I'm interested to see what kind of path they take her down. If they do turn her into a villain, if they do keep her as a hero, I think whether or not it makes her a villain depends on her actions. But I think her kind of idea, more importantly, her idea and the way she feels about all of this, the way she kind of thinks about all this, is that she kind of is doing something. She is actually finally doing something that actually helps her. And actually helps her stay alive and stay safe and stay stable and everything. So what she does to do it is it is up to her, and it's actually her choice to do so. And then presumably after that she will suffer the consequences too. But either way, I'm curious to see what kind of path they take her down, and what she does as this new and improved power broker with new things to sell. But yeah, I guess we'll see. And Carly died. Yeah. You know what, right? I think, and again, I think even people in the audience, even people watching, even viewers themselves have been quick to jump to labeling Carly as a terrorist, and I think that definitely ties into Sam's speech there too, that, everyone is so quick to, again, actions like that are not defendable. No one is saying that they are. Actions like that, like her actions, her killing Lamar, like obviously on her part, it's inexcusable, but it's also clearly not, as you can see from her reaction, it's not something she intended to do. And even her blowing up the GRC camp, that was completely inexcusable. That was completely undefendable. But it's also the fact that she's not. I think the highlight of her character is the fact that she ends up doing bad things, but with good intentions. She's trying to fight for people. She's trying to, again, her ideology is that she's actually fighting for the people who were left behind during the blip, and the people who have now been pushed aside to reaccommodate for the people who have come back. So literally half the world has actually come back, half the population has come back and everything. So she's kind of she's definitely one of the people who's actually lost a lot because of it. And and what she's trying to do is admirable. She's trying to help people, but it's also the fact that had the government actually focused on helping everyone and actually trying to reaccommodate everyone, then she likely wouldn't have been as antagonistic towards them. But it's also the fact that she feels like the world, again, her exact wording is that she feels the world cares more about the people that came back than the people who actually got left behind. And it's I think the politics of that is can be tricky. But even as Sam himself outlined, is as long as you include the people you're trying to help in the decision making process, then it should be you have a fighting chance. It's not going to be an easy battle. It's a common struggle for everyone, but as long as you actually think of everyone and then include everyone when you make all these different decisions on how to help people, then you know what you're doing. You know that the way you're doing things is right. You're helping everyone and you're helping all the right people and everything. So that kind of thing clearly wasn't happening here, which is what kind of sparked Carly to kind of start up this group and to start up this entire movement. And again, the fact that she wasn't alone. She was not alone in this movement at all. There were other people who were affected similarly to her, and they believed in her cause more than they believed in the government's cause, because the government wasn't helping them. So her ideology, her motivations, her reasons, and what she wanted to do. And again, even Sam himself actually admitted that I can get the reason you're doing this. I get why you're doing this. I can totally get with your fight. It's just the way you're doing things I just can't support and everything. And I think that whole scene kind of goes to show that Sam is, again, he's a man of the people. And Carly, I think, had John not bust through in the last minute, Carly actually would have been able to fully understand that and fully encapsulate that whole vision, and actually understand that Sam really was on her side and he was willing to help, as long as she didn't actually go out of her way to kill people. And again, what she's done is very, very kind of dangerous, and it's very, very, it's definitely kind of pretty murderous too. But yeah, and I think again, like he also makes that equally good point that it's too easy to label her and her people as terrorists or as rebel groups, like people who are rebelling against the government, like the government constantly telling the people of the country that oh, we're here to help you, in any way we can, and all these people fighting back and taking our resources, they're like rebels and they're kind of rebel groups and anti country or anti nation or whatever, but then deep down it's just people who have been wronged by the government and they're tired of it. They're tired of being wronged by the people who have been voted and sworn into office to protect them, and they haven't held up their end of the deal. Or even if they have, it's only for people that they think are actually worthy of immediate protection or immediate kind of help and assistance and everything. So that whole kind of political kind of grey area is actually well explored in the show. It's super well explored in the show. And yeah, and again, Captain America as a character and as a story, it's always been political. It's always like he's literally a soldier created to fight Nazis. Like you cannot possibly get more political. I mean, you can get more political than that, but you can't get any less political than that. Fighting war is inherently political, and this series alone has showed how modern day politics really affects everyone involved in it, and it's meant to, because everyone alive in the world is affected by the way that the world works and the people that run the world and everything. So because of that, I've come to very much appreciate and understand exactly what kind of message they're sending, what kind of story they're executing, and what these characters are meant to stand for. And Carly, I do wish that she had actually lived, but again, I mean, she died at the hands of Sharon. Sharon actually managed to get up, even with like one bullet in her stomach. She actually managed to finish Carly off. So she stood up to her promise. Sharon stood up to her promise of actually swearing to find and kill Carly. I mean, we don't know for sure that Sharon herself actually directly sent that text message, but it was the power broker. It was the power broker regardless, and the power broker definitely killed her. So that worked and that happened. But Carly, I think and I think even in that one scene where like she's actually swearing to kill the hostages no matter what, like even that makes her own people question her. Like they even hesitate before actually finishing off that chant, because even they can't really get behind the idea of actually killing people, regardless of whether they're government or not. Like even that one guy that was with her was actually shocked when she blew up the GRC camp. So like Carly as a leader, I think she's, as a leader, she's made it clear that, she's like, or at least as a person, she's made it clear that she's willing to do whatever it takes to get the message across. And even her wording that, oh, this is the only language these people will understand. If we're too quiet, they won't listen. So we need to be louder. We need to be more brash. We need to be more kind of hard hitting. So whatever that takes, she's going to do it. So I think, I think it's kind of, it's debatable. It's debatable whether or not that makes her fit to be a leader, but as a person, she definitely kind of, has all these different kind of motivations and all these different kind of things in her head that make her do all these things, all these, like to commit to all these actions and everything. So, I feel like maybe killing her off might have been the only way to actually get them to actually completely remove the Flag Smasher element of the series and to actually to kind of bring that thing to a close. So, yeah, but Erin Kellyman has smashed it. I have to give props to the actress herself. Erin Kellyman has absolutely smashed it as Carly, and she's done a great job. She's been super enjoyable, and I think she was also in the Star Wars universe. I actually heard that she was actually in Solo, a Star Wars story. So I might have even more reason to actually check that movie out now. So yeah, and Paul Bettany is in that too. So 2 Marvel heroes, and now we have Emilia Clarke coming into MCU. She's going to be in Eternals. No, not Eternals. No, what's she going to be in? Emilia Clarke is going to be in something in the MCU. I can't remember what it was. She was actually confirmed to be in something. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was announced that she would be in something. I think Secret Invasion, that's it. Secret Invasion. She's actually going to be in Secret Invasion. So Emilia Clarke is from the MCU. So all these different actors and stuff. Alden Ehrenreich, maybe he joins in at some point, and maybe we can actually get the entire Solo Star Wars story cast into something. But it's cool to see that that people are switching back and forth and they're actually you're staying booked and busy, as the people say. But yeah, again, Erin Kellyman has been smashing it as she's been smashing it as the leader of the Flag Smashers, so I can't wait to see. I look forward to eventually checking out Solo as well and seeing how she's there. But she's been great. She's been great as Carly, and I can't wait to see how I mean, there's no more seeing where the flag smashers where the flag smashers go from here, because they're all dead now. The containment van with the flag smashers in there. I think it surprised me that one guard was with them. Like, he actually kind of launched their chant of, like, one world, one people. So that surprised me. But then what surprised me even more was the van blowing up. The van with the flag smashers inside actually blowing up, effectively killing them all inside. So that surprised me. But then we saw an old dude inside a car with a trigger in his hand, and he was likely the one he was likely responsible for that. And then the scene cut back to Zemo, and he's in the raft, and just so much, so much. So yeah, Zemo heard the news. That the Flag Smashers were all dead, and he was a little happy prisoner. He just laid back in bed with the book against his chest, and he went to sleep again. So I think that butler, I think was that his butler? Was the old man his butler? Because I think I remember him being in episode 3 when they broke Zemo, and when Sam and Bucky broke Zemo out, and then he took them onto his private plane. There was a butler on board, giving out champagne and wine and everything. So I feel like that might have been the same guy. That might have been the same old guy. So Zemo actually still had contacts on the outside. He still had contact with his butler, and his butler helped him blow up the Flag Smashers. His butler just essentially helped him kill people. So that's like a reverse Bruce Wayne and Alfred, like a very much a reverse Bruce Wayne and Alfred. Bruce in prison and telling Alfred to just blow up some people on the outside. So his butler helped him achieve his goal. Zemo's goal all along was to eradicate the Flag Smashers. That was his goal, to eradicate them all. So he managed to do that. He didn't personally kill Carly, but I think that's it. I think for him, as long as the Flag Smashers and their super soldier acquaintances were all killed and taken out of the picture, he was fine. So Zemo got what he wanted. Zemo, even in prison, got what he wanted. Even in prison, he got what he wanted. I think he trusts despite what he's done to them, and despite what they've what they mean for him, he still kind of, I think he still trusts Sam and Bucky enough for them to actually be heroes and for them to try and do good. But he still stands by his own ideology of superheroes being bad and being unable to be trusted and stuff. But he's in prison now, so no one really cares what he thinks. But he got his butler to do his bidding. He got his butler to do his very, very explosive and murderous bidding. So he's a happy little camper. He's happy. Even I think again, given how much Sam understands and sympathizes with Carly, he also refused to fight her. He refused to fight her in the last fight scene before she died. He refused to fight her, and even her saying fight back, fight me, take me down, insisting that she treat her like an equal and actually fight her as hard as she was fighting him. So then him just refusing to fight her, and I genuinely thought even once she knocked him down and then the shield got thrown from his hands, and she even repeated she even they did a very, very near repeat of Iron Man's line to Cap, being stay down, final warning, stay down. I genuinely thought it would have been cool. But I genuinely thought they were gonna pull an "I can do this all day" with Sam. But I think maybe something is that line is also maybe pretty iconic to Steve Rogers. I feel like on the one hand it would be cool to hear him say that, to actually to kind of to reimburse that kind of line, but at the same time I feel like, again, that line is fairly iconic to Steve Rogers. So I feel like Sam needs his own. "I can do this all day." He needs his own, "I can do this all damn day," maybe, or all goddamn day, but I don't know, but he needs his own line. He needs his own "I can do this all day." So hopefully in the next installment of this series, of this story, they can give him something like that. But I mean, him saying "I am Captain America" is plenty for this finale. That's plenty, but it would have been cool. But again, the nostalgia in this, and also the nostalgia mixed in with reinvention, was so well balanced. It was so well balanced, so well written, so well done, and it really kind of brings in this new Captain America into a really kind of like a reignited flame and stuff. So out of the ashes of the old Captain America rises the new one with wings of glory and everything. So it's great. And the ending of this magnificent series, the final few scenes were so great, so super emotional. I'm so sick. Honestly, when Sam told Isaiah and Eli that he was actually going to show them something, I genuinely thought, he was going to show them the suit. You saw it on TV, but now see it in real life. Show, let me take you for a fly, or let me actually show you the suit, and you can actually see it up close, and you can actually come into contact and come into experience with it, with a star and stripes that you can actually believe in and actually support wholeheartedly, knowing that people support you, and you can actually meet the new Captain America firsthand. But it was so much better than that. It was so much better, so much more tear-jerking, and so much more heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time. It's so... He did it. He did that. He really did that. He put in an Isaiah Bradley exhibit at the Captain America exhibit. So there's the Captain America exhibit already there in the Smithsonian, but then you go deeper, and then you find out about another super soldier who worked and fought just as hard as Steve to be a good person, to be a good man with his powers, but then, he was mistreated for it, and, I think, he definitely... God, it's just, it was so good. He put in an Isaiah Bradley exhibit. He put in pictures, like his old pictures. He even had like a little plaque that had his story written on it. He even had a statue, like a bronze, goldy kind of statue of him in his younger prime as a soldier, fighting for his people and everything. So he had that. So he put in his story. Isaiah's story is out there. Isaiah's story is now out there. And I think Isaiah, I think he initially had his reservations because he even said like, you think that I wouldn't be dead in a day if my story got out there, but I think Isaiah is able to support this, knowing that now that like Bucky and Sam would be there by his side if anyone tried anything at all, if someone so much as creases his shirt, Sam and Bucky would be there ready to whoop some ass and throw a shield and do all sorts of things. But I think for the most important part now is that people know about Isaiah's story. People know that Steve Rogers was not the only serum, the kind of serum recipient, or the only super soldier in World War II who tried to do something good. So like Steve did what he did and he was rewarded for it. And then Isaiah's story is equally as important to hear about. So now his story is out there. Now he gets recognition. And he also gets people knowing his truth and knowing his side of the story and knowing how the government mistreated him for so many years, and even how his story was erased now too. So that is the perfect kind of ending for Isaiah's character. Like his character being like him being able to tell his story, and then Sam actually making sure the world knows about what happened to Isaiah Bradley. The fact that he was a war hero and he was punished for it because of him being a black man and him going through those struggles and him suffering because of that. So, it's so good. It's so good. And everything, it's just such a great ending for his character after everything he's been through, and like not just that, but also even living after, like carrying on living in darkness to have to go through all of that, but then to actually live in the darkness after that, knowing that if anyone ever found out who he was or what he had been through, then they would likely either try even harder to erase him, or they would actually physically erase him and just kill him off or something. So, because he is still a super soldier, but he's also an old man, so he probably, he has that much less of a chance of actually surviving for as long as he can, and stuff. So his story is equally as important in that regard, and Sam is making sure of it. Sam is making sure that his story is out there, that people can actually understand who he is, and even Isaiah embracing him at the end too, like him saying thank you. Just Marvel knows how to do heartstring pulling. Marvel knows how to play your heartstrings like a damn emotional ass guitar. So props to them. And yeah, Carl Lumley again, I almost wanted to just give props to him. Carl Lumley has played this character to perfection, and I can't wait to see. I think I'm hoping they keep Isaiah around in the next installment too. I'm hoping they actually bring his character back. I think bringing him back as an actual superhero, I don't know how possible that might be, but keeping him around as like old man Isaiah, or like keeping him around as like the old man to give Sam little nuggets of wisdom from time to time, or maybe even actually him, or maybe even actually showing us how he deals with this newfound attention, like people who find out the story and actually then maybe try and say hi to him, or maybe try and say hello to me. Not that he should be enshrouded with attention now, but at least like knowing his story is out there, people then actually talking more about him, and actually like history lessons in school now focusing on more than just Steve Rogers, actually focusing on the fact that Isaiah was like existed and he was erased and attempted to be wiped out and everything. So like him actually being brought more to the actual public face and public knowledge now and everything would be super cool to see. But more than anything, Carl Lumley has actually brought this character to life and actually brought in a new face, a new story, a new history to this universe that was previously unknown. So it's amazing. He's done a great job. He has, like, everyone involved in this show has done such a great job actually doing their own characters justice and to actually do their own stories justice and everything. So it's been great. And yeah, because Sam and Bucky so successfully fixed the boat in the last episode, they were able to actually use the boat and not sell it, and they were able to actually go out and catch more fish, and they boosted up the Wilson family restaurant. They actually boosted up the Wilsons family restaurant actually were able to kickstart their business and actually get more money and actually become more stable. So that was a super duper cool note to end the series on. And to actually show that their family's in a better place now, and the town has come together to celebrate this opening and to actually, get food and to actually support the business and to support the family and to support each other and actually have a good time. And that whole scene was wholesome. That whole scene was so sweet and wholesome. Even Bucky coming by and fighting with the kids and carrying like he bought a cake and everything to help them celebrate. And he was even that shot of him actually hanging the kids off of his arm too, like them just like hanging off his arm, him standing on the table, hanging off his arm, like it's probably nothing like it reminds me of Brooklyn Nine-Nine when Terry picks up Jake and Jake's like, do I even weigh anything to you? And Terry's like, nah, not really. It's like holding a couple of grapes, like for Bucky it would be like literally just holding like two baby kids off his arm just randomly. And it's exactly the kind of thing that kids would do with that kind of like with that kind of thing. Like they'd be play fighting with him from the beginning, and they'd be play fighting with him from the beginning, and then they'd just be like like hanging off his arm and probably doing pull-ups, but just hanging off his arm and having a fun time with him. So seeing Bucky in that environment is so good. Seeing Bucky in a wholesome and loving and welcoming and very, very human environment, and actually being with people who love him and respect him and take him in so willingly and so happily is so good to see. And seeing Bucky actually having a good time too. Bucky receiving some closure, actually fixing up the last of his amendments and actually having some closure and actually being like finding a new family. He essentially found a new family with Sam and with Sarah and the rest of the Wilson family, like her kids and everything. So he's found a new place and a new place to call home, a new place, like new people to call family, and Sam so readily and so happily welcomes him. So I can't wait to see how that story continues, how that journey continues, and it's just so good, so damn good. But yeah, so good. And even the closing credits too. They changed the title card. They changed the title card on the kind of blank background with the white text, and also on the actual closing credits with the animated text and everything. They changed it to Captain America and the Winter Soldier. You know what? I mean, they could have made it Captain America and the White Wolf to solidify it that much more. Because again, the Winter Soldier, that name is not a name that's actually associated with heroism or justice or peace or anything. Like, the White Wolf is the rebranded hero name from Wakanda, so I think they could have gone that much further, but I think maybe to start off with, I think Captain America. I mean, it also shows how far they've come, like Captain America, the Winter Soldier, showcasing the Winter Soldier as the fierce and deadly enemy that Hydra created, to Captain America and the Winter Soldier, the wholesome and action-packed and comedic kind of partnership that Sam Wilson and Bucky now have. So season 2, Season 2 comes, they will officially become partners and co-workers and teammates and buddy boys and everything. So everything they need for a wholesome connection and a wholesome team dynamic will be there already, ready for them to fight with. So that is so cool for them to actually to solidify that change as Captain America, and the Winter Soldier. Was a really cool change to see, so that's fun. That's very fun. But yeah, overall, this has been such a great show. This has been such a great watch, such a supremely great watch to see how the story has unfolded and how the series is culminating, and to see how these characters' journeys have continued and where the show and where the story has taken them, and kind of introducing them into this new sector of the MCU of Phase 4. So it's been so fun, and I can't wait to see where these characters are taken and how their stories continue, if it's like a season 2 of the show or if it's or if it's an actual movie. Seeing where it takes them and seeing how Sam and Bucky continue their individual and cooperative journeys too. So hopefully good things in store, and I can't wait to see how they come up against the new kind of like Sharon being the power. I mean, because I don't think they actually know that Sharon is the power broker, so they're going to have an interesting time coming to terms with that deal and coming to terms with that fact as well. So that'll be fun to watch. And then Valentina needs to be explored, and then John becoming the US agent too. Presumably getting his own shield. I mean, even if Valentina does get him his own shield, I think it will either be vibranium or like an even stronger version of the one that he created. Like him welding his own shield together did not really last long. So if she comes up with one even if she comes up with one that's not vibranium, it will probably be stronger and more durable than the one he created. So either way, seeing John as US agent, definitely got to read up on those comics and see what that character is all about, and then hopefully enjoy it once the new season comes around. So plenty to explore, plenty more to explore, and plenty more to enjoy. But this season has been a great watch. Again, it's been so enjoyable, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here. But yeah, that is it. That is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier season 1, episode 6. That is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier season finale. The season 1 end. You know, it's been such a short, long journey, and now going forward, we actually have Marvel's MODOK. We have MODOK coming. I need to check out the trailer for that, see if that's actually worth reacting to. And Marvel's MODOK is coming, and then June we have Marvel's Loki. I will absolutely be reacting to that. I will definitely be reacting to that. Black Widow, also doing a reaction to that. Without a doubt, Black Widow, July 9th. I will definitely be doing a reaction to that. Because I don't know the likelihood of me actually going to the theater to watch that. So I think it might be like more viable to do like a home viewing of that one. So and then it actually gives me a reason to actually do a movie reaction to that as well. So that'll be fun. But either way, you know, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is over, but there's plenty more Marvel content coming, and all of it we will hopefully collectively be enjoying and consuming as a fandom. So yeah, but that is it. That is Marvel's The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So let me know what your thoughts are, how you look forward to seeing more of Sam as Captain America, and what you think of this finale and this combination and this story, and what your theories are for anything that might come next, and what you thought of this kind of story, and how you feel about this, and what you enjoyed, what you might not have enjoyed so much, and anything that's on your mind. The comments are open. Have at it. But yeah, that is it. So that was the Marvel's The Falcon and the Winter Soldier season 1, episode 6. So thank you guys so much for being here as always, and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and button that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think might be coming up next in terms of these characters, and what other series on Disney Plus you're looking forward to. Comment your thoughts, whatever they may be. And yeah, that is it. So I will see you guys next time.